Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It is a Thursday. Had a couple refreshes, got a new box in. They're going to probably be kind of a hot mess when we... This looks pretty straight. I hope everybody's week is going pretty well. I've got to do this training that's been kind of hard to do, to say the least. There we go. Okay. Hey, Barbara, how are you? How's your week been? Hope it has not been as insane as mine. Love a new box, and I'm really excited to share the box with y'all. Give everybody just a few seconds to get on here. So I am working on inventory, and I don't know how many of you guys are experienced with You Me Who. That's a website that a lot of like nail and makeup people use to sell their inventory. And I wanted to avoid having to do the inventory more than once. I'm going to use that. This site, and we made it through the dies, and now we're on to the paper, which I haven't figured out how to do quite yet, just because it's a lot of work. Anyway, what's your week been like? Always too busy? But then you get your weekend and we all get happy again, right? Or something close to that. Maybe not always happy, but... Do you have plans for this weekend? All right, it's 2 after, and we will give people just a few seconds. All right, so big box, you know, it's always kind of this fun reveal. I know, I can't wait, because me, I had to do the kind of staircasing. I want to buy it all, but can't buy it all. At least to have like one thing's on. We have our wonderful bubble wrap, which we're going to just coast out of here. And I have the shimmer brushes. So we're going to peek at our shimmer brushes and see what they're like. Aha! Dots for the kits for this month, so I can do that. Then I have the new kits, so we'll take a look at new kits. I have 2 of each, and I think the rest is kind of boring stuff. I cannot wait. I love this. Oh yes, I got some more of these in because I needed to mail somebody. Oh, I found these, a classic label mix and match. Somebody was asking about doing, hi Pat, just tags or some kind of fast, easy way to put sentiments on something, and I think this might be the answer. And okay, here is our paper. Product of the month paper, so that's exciting. And you know, we can only get one, and then of course the rest of this is pretty boring because it's just replacement paper. Yep, lots of replacement paper. So I'm going to do the mixed paper mix and medley class that they're offering. People always seem to rave about the classes, so I will do that. It's like $35 and then your supplies, which for those of us familiar with the work industry know that $35 of teaching is pretty dang good. Trying to not touch this while I go straight. Oh, somebody else has joined us. Who else joined us? So Pat's here, Bernice is here, Barbara's here. Yay for everybody. All right. So I'm going to pick up the mix for the Mix and Design series, Mixed Paper Medley. And they're doing a class on that. And if you go to the website now under shopping and you search craft classes, you will find this. All right. So let's take a peek at some things maybe you will find interesting. We want one of each color. I always get two because I tend to explode them. So I want to make sure that I have enough to have an accident, or 10. Oops, is that right? Yep, Rarely Blush. And so we got that, and then we have our kits, so we're going to leave our kits on the side. So let's play with this first and see what we come up with. We get some scratch paper. So Pat and Bernice, my retired friends, how was your day? How's your week? All right, so this is Golden Glow, and if you are familiar with Close to My Heart ones, you will remember that there's a couple stages before. If you open this up, you should have a white tip. If you don't have a white tip, you have a problem. So when you first open it up. But really nicely, there's actually instructions, like really good instructions, and I love this. So this is different. Here's our Close to My Heart shimmer brush. Here's this shimmer brush. And when you open this up, oops, don't do that, do that. You can see they're relatively close to the same. This is longer, so maybe there's more juice. But the key thing is that little white piece right there. And that's what keeps this. Oh yeah, they're like Wink of Stella. Close to My Heart's ones had a lot more juice than Wink of Stella did. So you unscrew this. Take out the little white ring, and that is a chokeable hazard. And then as you feel, like right there's where that ring was at, and you twist it in, there'll be like a little snap, and that little snap indicates that you have made it there's a piercing bit that lets the ink run into the tube. And you want to make sure to shake up, because you can see that there's a generous amount of shimmer in these. And gently squeeze. Actually, looking for that little Crafty matte thing that I just added to my new stash. When all else fails, make sure to have and squeeze. And you can see the ink start to come through, and there it is coming through on the tip. Store these like this. Don't do the other thing, which I love, the fact that the cap tells you what color it is. Isn't that nice? If these are like Close to My Heart, the price point is going to be better than the Wink of Stella is, and there's more juice. Redo your kitchen. Oh, that would be fun. And then every time this gets dry, you just push that in and you get more. This reminds me very much of sunflower. We had a yellow. This will be really good for your flowers and stuff. Let's take a look at all of our colors and see. I brought the markers down just so we could take a look at how close they are together. Now this goes really quick because you guys know we take that out. Toss that out of here. That black piece that pokes out is going to break that white piece, and that's what allows the juice to get through. Oh, I just watched a movie last night that was really good. It's on Netflix, and it is has an octopus and a family in there. Oops. Ooh, that's a pretty orange. And this is your cantaloupe, or your melon. I think they call it cantaloupe. Yep, crisp cantaloupe. I just wanted to see marker-wise what we were looking at. So here is our 2 alcohol markers in the golden. It's much darker. My friend Jennifer loves shimmer brushes, and that's what she colors with. What is the name of it? You read the book. Yes, my daughter's like, oh, there's a book out. All right, so the light matches the shimmer brush. It's, how I'm like blanking. I'm truly blanking on the name of it. So here is our dark, and that's a little more pink. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. And here's the light. So I would say that, well, this much the light, this is closer to the dark. We'll see what happens when they dry. Oh, this is like crazy. That I can't remember. I guess maybe I shouldn't be super surprised. I can't remember. Sarah Grace informed me today. I said something. I have bursitis in both my shoulders right now and I have to go into sports medicine. Remarkably Bright Creatures, that's what it is really, really good. And if you don't tear up a few times, there's something wrong. Didn't say you bawled, they just said you tear up a few times. Okay. I love some shimmer brushes, and I am so glad that we have them, that they're venturing off, because the Wink Estellas just don't last long once you've had close to my heart ones. Even Jeff got into it, Pat. It's kind of chick flickish, but he got into it. He actually made me stop it so that he could watch. If you don't feel like it's coming out, there it comes. You can actually hear it. This is kind of interesting. So it's not flowing down. There we go. But it's bubbling out the top, so I might have to check that out. Oh my gosh, guys, this is really, really pretty. Favorite blue. Now the reason for storing them upright. And get our green out. Yeah, definitely worth watching. So Bernice, is there any big changes coming to the design of the kitchen, or are you just updating your cabinets and counters? I do love this green too. I think it's very pretty. And I'm curious about this blush because the ink pad, in my humble opinion, is very faint. It's very, very pastel-y. I just want to see if that comes out a little bit better with the tip. Okay, I would suggest that you make sure to break that tip up because it's really super stiff. This one's flowing a little bit better than the other ones have. Not quite wet enough to... So it's still pretty faint. A little bit of play in this, guys. All right, so here's our Barely blushes. Keeping the same footprint. And I'd say that the dark is a really good match to that. I miss having 3 colors. All right, let's do our greens. Who liked the shimmer brushes from Close to My Heart? Got them and tried them out before. Lighter for your shaded spruce. Is that what this one is? No, no. Peaceful Pine. Peaceful Pine. Light matches better. I probably could have done something a little more aesthetically pleasing. Now that looks a lot more purple. That's the dark. Oh, that's the light. Interesting. These look much more purple than I have. Now I'm curious about the ink. This is for the hydrangea. This is not for, where are my little butterflies at? Here they are. Keep these little butterflies out for stamping things. All right, I feel like the Wink Estella is a better match than the markers are. Interesting. As Wink Estella listen to me. What are we calling shimmer brushes? Wasn't sure if we kept the same name. All right, so that's that piece of it. Yeah, I do. Now, I used to take the clear shimmer brush Wink Estella. I used to take it, and I used to make my own colored ones by just adding a couple drops, you know, a drop or two of ink, re-inker onto a block, and then squeezing the clear Wink Estella out. We'll have to see how they do. All right, so let's look at this. So this is Berry Botanical Vellum. Totally told. So this is your freebie, not your freebie. This is your $5 purchase. Most of the paper packs that they have are going to be roughly $13. How many sheets are in here? This feels very heavy. All right, but 12 sheets. So it's a very heavy vellum, and you can see that you can see from both sides. So you could actually, if you wanted a much more muter look to this paper, you could just flip it over and use the back side, and you can see the difference between the two. And you get 3 sheets, it looks like, of this. And This is not, it's not a plaid, guys. Is this a plaid? Would you call this a plaid? So these are kind of see-through-ish. If you take it off of the same color, you can see that you can see through it. And here's the lighter side. So this is more of that, like fresh freesia, but then this ends up looking more like that bubble bath. Much more pinker if you flip it over. This is the same kind of floral pattern, but much, much less. Compare the two floral patterns together. You can see this is pretty busy, and this one not so busy. This one actually has things spaced out enough that you could cut them out. Not tickling your fancy. Yeah, it is pretty flowery. So you could do with this, I would tend to use this as a ephemera sheet where I would cut out the pieces. Dies would be sweet to have with this. And again, you can take this and you know, it's optional. And Bernice, if you didn't get another month that's still available, you can get another month. Unlike Close to My Heart, when it was done, it was done. These guys keep it up until the stock is gone. Right? It's pretty nice to do. Then you have this beautiful, now this I really like. So I honestly like the green, and I like, which is the new green, or pine. And then here is these two. Those tickle my fancy. Not so much on the flower stuff, but I'm sure we can come up with using them as a background and offsetting that busyness of this pattern, offsetting that to make it not so busy on the card. I do really like these blue flowers, whatever flower that might be, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's our newbie stuff, and we have just a little bit of time to take a look at one of our kits. I think we have like 6 minutes. And I'll play with that. I'll come up with some kind of a class thing to do with that. Do not panic. You would have to use the muted side. Definitely on the first one I would use the muted side, and I think if you cut out the flowers to like do accents, I need to get my brain thinking. I don't know if I have any of the colors that are in that out here. Maybe we'll do kits next time. All right, Bernice, you started my brain. Change of topic. Is this blueberry? Flirty Flamingo, Felicia. Bubble bath. So I was right about some colors. So if we take, this is all Bernice's fault. I think this is Highlander. Misty Moonlight. Let me grab, keep the black because I think the black will be pretty. Let me grab a sheet of each of these other ones. But let's see what happens if we do use it that way and we fussy cut out something. Because you never know which it's going to look like, right? I'm just going to grab the one that I think is the prettiest, which is, oh, it does use strawberry flush, or strawberry straw, fresh freesia is more pink, yeah. And then the bubble gum, or bubble bath. I still don't have the names right. Okay, so let's take a look at what we can create with these papers. and the very busy front vellum pieces. Now, I will tell you, one of the benefits of this vellum is going to be that it has these images on here, and you're going to be able to, this is very heavy vellum, you guys. It's not quite cardstocky, but I would say it's probably 65 pound. I'd be really super wrong on that, but if you put it on a background, I love those blue flowers, you guys. Actually, I think I like the green. Just make a simple base card here. 4 1/4. No, wait, this has got to be 5 1/2 cut. The long side in there. Flip this around, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. I need to actually put this on a string so that we'll stop losing it. And then we're going to take our very busy piece of paper, because that's what I'm looking at, is what happens if we, telling you guys, this is really heavy stuff. And we're going to do 5 1/4, so 4 inches by 5 1/4. You can see that's a pretty busy background, guys. I am very glad that we kept the single-toned cards here. And you can have a card. So that's the dark. And that's the lighter side. I would go with the darker side. I think it stands up. Now, you either have vellum tape. That's permanent. Where's my vellum tape up here? You still want to put it, I haven't used it for a little bit. There we go. I'm putting it underneath the flowers, the leaf, you know, things that don't just put adhesive any old place on the vellum. It will create a mess because you'll see it. If we do that, and we take our little pen here, and create. Now remember that vellum is definitely different than cardstock, so I'm watching to make sure that my hand does not drift across the lines, because it may take a little bit longer to dry. So that looks very pretty as is. And we take one of our cards here. And grab this. I have a sentiment blocked up somewhere. I should have a sentiment blocked up. I need this piece to be 4 1/4. Almost 5 1/2. You know, we can use the wherever this finds you. Now, I am going to grab my green ink, Pine. And this is better if you do it this way. Now, if you use that to paint on, you cannot do what I just did. And this is from the Sunset Coast stamp set that we were using the other day. I haven't unblocked it yet. Very pretty. I wish I had handwriting that nice. I don't know, does anybody wish they had pretty handwriting? My cheater pumpkin eater way of doing sentiments here. And puts a little bit here. Oh, this is vellum adhesive. It'll still work, but I don't want to waste my vellum adhesive on the paper. I'm gonna put that up. How many of you guys do matting this way, where you just kind of like stick it on there and then, that looks close enough. Eyeball it to cut the bottom part. Close enough. Yeah, mine is really super not fun. All right, so if you use it as a background and create a nice focal point, which is what I did here, it is livable vernice. And having that color behind it, as opposed to it free based out here, this makes it like a lot brighter. I can't use the new embellishments that we put in there because those are the embellishments that, get that paper out of here. I just had to order in more Tombow. Here's one. I don't want that. I wanted dimensionals. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is not as in your face. 100% agree with that. I'm just going to pop this up because little dimension never hurts anybody. I'm trying to think what I got for pretties to put on this that enter in my stash. Leaning over to take a look at things. Definitely, you know, you put it on, the other side was way too muted. But here you have a nice bold focal point. Let me see something. That might be strawberry, oh yeah, strawberry slushy things. That might be strawberry slush, but those ladybugs look pretty cute on it. I don't know if there's still any ladybugs left. And the purple embellishments, guys, I don't know if you guys see these. These are on like last chance, so you might, if you like purple, we need a ladybug, you guys. But then we need to have something a little bit more fluffy on here. Do embellishments get fluffy, you guys? I do not know. But there's these pink tones one that look really close to that. But taking our trusty dusty little scissors and going into this piece here, I said that I would cut out the flowers. Why don't you guys put some numbers up, because we're at 33 after. And we'll give away this card. And let's see. Look at that, you guys. And you could pick out one of the smaller little flowers here. And these provide some really nice embellishing without it being I love my super creative cutting here, guys. Without it being very plump, fluffy. 13 from Pat. Okay, look. You just kind of follow the little petals by moving the paper. And I think those are very pretty. I definitely wish there was die cuts to go with this. Here to tell you. Look at that. All right. All right, here we go. So you can make little bouquets of these pretties. That pleasantly did not hurt. So next week on Wednesdays, I do not know what shape I'll be in on Thursday. They're going to drain the fluid from my arm. Doesn't that sound attractive? And so you can kind of just create your own little, actually I like it. Oh my. They are a mind of their own. They're like my kiddo. Oh my goodness, my kid has gotten too big for her britches. She's a great kid, but it's, yeah, oh, I'm 18. It's getting a little old. You want to tilt it that way, or, you know, I think I want to put it so it's like down here. And then, you know what, I want this to go down this way. There we go. I have bursitis in my, both of my shoulders right now. Fun and games for me, for sure. And now I'm taking my light pink and going over this blush. And making these shimmery, oh, this is so pretty. And let me grab the yellow, because there's some yellow center here. That's a blue center. All right, look at this, guys. We've implemented. So the long and short of it, from what I gather, is they're going to stick a big, huge needle in my arm. Well, maybe not huge. That's probably an exaggeration on my part, but it feels big and huge when they describe it. It's certainly not a vaccine needle. There you guys go. We added a butterfly. We added some ladybugs. I like sets of 3. What do you think, Bernice? Have you ever had that done, Pat? I will be here to tell you that I'm not a fan of bursitis in any way, shape, or form. And I've been kind of just doing that, like going along for the last 3 months. Well, I guess this is May, 5 months. And my left side has gotten better, but my right side is not. And so they're going to take out fluid and add some cortisone. All right, I have a 3 and I have a 13. Anybody else going to throw a number up there? Not, yep, I'll let y'all know what I think of it. Well, and I might not like it, but I might, you know, be just fine by the time we get done and it feels better the next day, or however long it takes for it to take. Okay. All right, going once, going twice, and my winner is going to be Scarlet. Closest to 7 without going over. And you'll get this pretty. So I have found a good use for this Bernice that I can live with. But like I said, the joy is if you don't like it, you can choose. If you haven't gotten one of the other months because you didn't order in that month, you can pick it up if it's still available, which I really like because nobody likes everything. All right, here we go. Thanks, ladies, for joining me. I appreciate you all, and have a good evening. Oh, don't forget that we have virtual Croptastic this weekend. So if you want to come and crop and play, let me know. Take care.